Alright folks, it's that time. Let's do a review of my 2021 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat. Real quick before the video gets started, we've got shirts designed by yours truly, available in large, extra large, and 2XL. If you're interested in picking up one to support the channel, check the link in the description below. On to the video. It's been about 3 weeks now. This video is 3 weeks in the making. I wanted to wait a little while longer than I did with the T-Rex before I did a full review, just because I wanted to let it settle in. So with that said, welcome back to another Tech Junkie video. Now, as with any review that I normally do, I start off with a negative, that way I can get it out of the way. This is not a negative video. There's very little negative to say about this Durango. I just wanted to go ahead and get the negative things out of the way so that we can get on with everything I love about this car, because I really am in love with this car. The first negative thing I can say about the Durango is it didn't come with a pre-installed tow hitch. One of the first things that they touted about how good this Durango would be was how much it can tow, the towing capacity. Towing capacity is somewhere between 8,000 and 8,700 pounds, which is incredible for an SUV that you put your family in, but there's no tow hitch. I've been quoted anywhere from $850 to $1,800 to get Mopar parts installed for the tow hitch. Now I can go to U-Haul and get all that stuff installed for way cheaper, but do I want to go to U-Haul and get a U-Haul hitch that's going to hang out the back that I can't cover? Now if I go with Mopar parts, then obviously it comes with a Mopar cover, and here lies the next negative thing about that. It comes with a tow cover, but you have to have it painted, so that's another expense, because that's not included in the $850 to $1,000 or $1,800 price tags. So that's definitely a negative for me. Now that's not something that I'm going to harp on. So let's move on to the next thing. The reverse camera. Okay. The first time I ever saw a reverse camera was in a 2009 Mitsubishi Galant, and I was blown away at its clarity at the time. The reverse camera that they put in this Durango is probably on the same quality level as that one was 12, 13 years ago, however long ago it was. The reverse camera in this thing is laughable, and the only reason I bring it up is because this is an $85,000 SUV, and the reverse camera is the worst that I've seen in any vehicle that I've ridden in at least a decade. When Jess's Hellcat went into the shop, Reed Lawyer gave us a Chevy Trax to drive as a loaner, and it had a better reverse camera in a base model Chevy Trax loaner car than this Durango has. That is incredible to me that they would put no effort into the reverse camera, especially when you get into the Uconnect 5 and see the clarity and the detail and everything about the Uconnect 5, and the reverse camera is awful. It really is. Next thing, the Speedo in the middle of the dash is pretty low resolution as well for it to be digital. It's not as bad as the rear camera, but it's still extremely low resolution. Again, this is something that should have been paid attention to when you're spending that kind of money. I've seen better quality resolution in cars that are a third or a half the price. It's insane. But you know, these are minor things. So let's not get off on a tangent. That's it. That's the only things negative I can say about the Durango, and none of those are even close to being things that I would not buy this car for. I love it. So let's get on with the list of things that I absolutely love about this Durango. The appearance. I love the way this thing looks. I've said that before in the T-Rex versus Durango, which one would I choose video. This thing looks sinister and mean. It's not quite as sinister and mean as the T-Rex because it's not as big, but it's an awesome looking vehicle. The all black especially. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the other colors, but the all black package that I got, I love it. And the Hellcat emblems are huge on this thing, almost as big as your hand. I love that. The Hellcat logo will never be too big, and they made it way bigger on the Durango than they did on the Charger or the Challenger. The next thing is Uconnect 5. One of the biggest things I loved about the TRX was the big 12.9-inch Uconnect screen, and the Uconnect 5 in the Durango, I think it's 10.5 inches, somewhere around in there. I like it just as much. It's not quite as big, but it's horizontal and it's big, and it's got its place in the car. It sets the dash apart. All of the apps like Apple Carplay that I love, the SRT performance pages, media, the quiet, the comfort, it controls your climate, your seats. I love it. Like the Uconnect 5 is perfection, especially the navigation. The navigation page is so much better. I usually use Waze in any vehicle I'm in from my Apple CarPlay. I don't use Waze in this car. I go straight to the onboard nav. It's so cool. It's so crisp, and the resolution is top notch. The Uconnect 5 is stunning, and I hope that they put it in the future Challenger and Charger vehicles going forward. So I'm definitely going to wait until the 2022 models have been at least announced and stuff starts to leak before I make a decision on buying a Charger or a Challenger Hellcat, because it'd be nice to be able to get one of those with the Uconnect 5 if it's available. I would kick myself in the ass if I bought a 2021 and then a few months later a 2022 comes out and it had Uconnect 5. Now, I know people will say, well, you're buying a Hellcat for the tech inside of the vehicle. You're damn right. That's the channel. It's Coy the Tech Junkie. Tech is my life, and what's a car but a bunch of tech? And the more tech inside the car, the better it is for me, and the more I like it. So of course, if Uconnect 5 is available in 2022, I'm going to wait until the 2022 becomes available. So if anybody has any inside information, is the Uconnect 5 going to be available in the new Challenger and Chargers? I know they're not going to do a full redesign until 2024 at the very least, but what about Uconnect 5? They're going to add that, or are they going to keep riding Uconnect 4? Part of Uconnect 5, I guess you could say, it also has wireless Apple CarPlay. Now, it has a wireless charging pad underneath the dash that I can charge my phone, which I love. But that's another feature that I love, because I got used to the fact that my phone was constantly sliding around the car. Now there's a place that I can sit it, that it doesn't slide, and also it charges it at the same time. Now, I love the Apple CarPlay as a theory, because I don't have to plug my phone in when I get in the car. So for the most part, Apple CarPlay is awesome, but Apple CarPlay relies on Bluetooth. So if you're ever sitting in your car and you're watching a video using Apple CarPlay instead of being hardwired like in previous years, you're going to have some lag between your video and your audio. If you're watching a YouTube video, the video and the audio is not going to sync up unless you disconnect from wireless Apple CarPlay and hardwire yourself in. That's just how it is when you connect to Bluetooth in a car. The audio doesn't line up with the video. That's very minor. Most of the time I'm not watching videos in the car, unless, of course, Jess is in Walmart shopping. I don't usually go in Walmart shopping when she goes in, because, you know, she likes to look at everything, and I like to look at nothing. So let's move on to the next thing. Interior. Absolutely love the interior. I wish it was all. I wish that it was all leather because of my kids, but I like the Alcantara look. It's just with kids, you know, kids are messy. That's not a negative about the interior. I love the Alcantara inserts. You just gotta. It's a little harder to keep clean than if it was just straightforward leather. I love the power liftgate in the back. I can press a button on the remote and it lifts the liftgate to open the back. I can press a button just above my head to close it, and then there's a button on the inside. Don't have to do much of anything to open the liftgate to put groceries or anything that we want to take with us on a road trip or anything like that. It's perfect. I love that liftgate. I was saying that with the T-Rex. I like the dampening tailgate, but I wish that it was, you could control it with the remote. Well, I can control the liftgate with the remote. Pretty much all the features that I missed from the T-Rex I have in the Durango, which may be a factor in why I love this thing so much. So that's definitely a bonus for me. If you guys watched my T-Rex video about whether or not you should buy one from the dealer or have one built, I specified in that video that my T-Rex did not have heated or vented seats, and that was a feature that I would have loved to have had in my T-Rex. This one does have that feature, both front and back. If you remote start your car in the summertime and you get in, your seats are going to be cooled already because it's going to know the temperature outside of the vehicle and it's going to cool your seat accordingly. Same as in the wintertime. If you remote start your car in the wintertime, it's going to heat your seat accordingly. Also, if you're driving, you can turn it on and off as you please. I love that feature. Again, I'm a big tech junkie. Any of these little gadgets and features I'm going to be a sucker for. That's just who I am. So, you know, I love heated and vented seats, heated steering wheel. You get in the wintertime and your hands are cold, especially with me having to load the kids and lock the door at my shop and all these little things. Your hands are cold. You get in the car, you put them on the steering wheel is heated. It's really cool, and I love that feature. Remote start is another feature that I absolutely love. I've had that feature in most of my cars for a while now. My truck didn't, my Bighorn didn't have it, and the T-Rex didn't have it, but my Daytona did, and my Challengers before that did. Even my Dodge Dart that I had for 6 years had remote start. So I'm happy that that's back in this Durango. Again, if it's hot in the summertime, and it gets hot in North Carolina in the summertime, it's good to always have that feature, and you don't have to use the key fob. If I'm in Best Buy, at the back of Best Buy, they're not gonna, it's not gonna read the key fob, but I can log on to my Uconnect app on my phone, which is another thing that I love about this thing, and I can remote start it from anywhere, pretty much anywhere. So I remember me and Jess went on a road trip, and we left the Durango at my shop, and as we were getting closer to returning, I went ahead and remote started my car, and it was warm when I jumped in on a chilly night. So again, the remote start is definitely a cool feature to have. Next thing that I love is the sound of the exhaust. It's got that low guttural punch to the gut that I absolutely love. Definitely not quiet, but I'm not a big exhaust attention seeker. It already has that perfect low guttural growl that I like about most Mopar products. Again, I'm not looking to be the loudest guy on the block or to scare the hell out of somebody pumping gas or any of that stuff. I like the low guttural, you know I'm there, I don't need to make myself known type of exhaust sound, and this one has that, and it's perfect just the way it is. The next thing is effortless power. Because it's all-wheel drive, you tap the gas, it grips and it goes. Okay, so Jess's Hellcat, you tap the gas, the tires spin, it wiggles in the back end a little bit. The T-Rex was effortless as well, but the T-Rex would jerk you just all of a sudden. The Durango doesn't really do that. It just grips and goes, and it's mind-blowing that you can go from this speed to this speed that quickly without it just pushing you back in your seat, jerking your neck or whatever you want to call it. It's just effortless, and it just goes. Now, I have not used launch control just yet. It was in limp mode obviously for 500 miles, and I've put a few hundred miles on it since then, but I haven't had the opportunity to get out and do launch control. I work all the time, and until I get monetized and I can get away from work a little bit, you know, some of these things are just things that I have to sacrifice and do the things that I want to do when I can do them. So I definitely have a video planned for using launch control. I want to try all 3 RPM levels with launch control, something that I never did get an opportunity to do with the T-Rex. So yeah, we're going to try launch control soon. Haven't done that yet, but I'm sure it's going to be an awesome experience. Hey, there's a golden doodle. Sorry, my ADD kicks in sometimes and I lose my train of thought. If you guys like this video, if you found it informative, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're clicking towards 1,000, trying to get this channel monetized. We've hit our watch hours already. We need 1,000 subscribers. Once we get monetized, we can start the builds. The things that I've got so many ideas in my head for cars that I want to take and start builds on, unique ideas that I've had for years. So that's what this channel is going to be about. I want to take vehicles that I love and do crazy things with them, and just make them cool. Got tons of ideas, but anyway, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit the bell so you get notified for all the videos, and I'm going to get myself some breakfast and get to work, so y'all take it easy.